welcome to my channel. My name is Gianni. I am passionate about helping women own their self-worth, understand men, and get in touch with their feminine energy. My specialty is helping women who have experienced infidelity in their relationships heal, transform, and become new. So today I want to talk about how do you forgive after infidelity. If you don't know me, if you haven't watched my videos up until this point, my husband had an affair a few years ago, 7 years ago, and it was very difficult for me, yet simple in the fact that I always knew that I was going to stay in my marriage. And a lot of people ask me, oh my goodness, how did you do that? Why did you know? For me, I was coming from a Christian background and I didn't believe in divorce, and I didn't want to take my family down that route. And so it was a religious reason for me. But also I wanted to see it through. I made a commitment and I felt like my promise was to God, and I wanted to see where that went. So that was my path. And so going through that, I realized that one of the things I didn't do was forgive. And I know that sounds strange because I'm telling you how to forgive, but in this journey of that we've been through in the last 7 years, I can see what wasn't working for me back then that got me to where we are now, and how I've been able to change it. So I saw this infidelity as almost this thing that happened that was terrible, that imploded. But once I decided to stay in my marriage, it was like, okay, I got you forever. I thought that he was going to be indebted to me for life. Now he's going to be loving and devoted, because now he's going to owe me his entire life because he's done this horrible thing that he couldn't possibly ever make up for. And I'm going to play that card and I'm going to bring it up every chance I get. Lo and behold, that is not how you make a marriage work. And so our marriage imploded. And so the real first step in order to do anything regarding your marriage after an infidelity is to forgive. And this is tricky, right? Because you think that the other person has just betrayed you in this awful, terrible way. But the most important way to get past it is to stop thinking about the other person altogether. You have to figure yourself out. Because if you don't figure out how you played a role in this dynamic, what happens is that even if you move on, you're still going to make those same moves. You're still going to make those same mistakes. You're still going to think the same way you did before, and you haven't learned your lesson. Not saying you're going to end up in the same kind of marriage, but the point of any hardship or any situation in our lives is so that we can heal and grow and evolve. And so if you're not evolving, then the universe is going to keep you at whatever level you're at until you master it, until you graduate, so that you can get to the next level in your life, where the whole point is transformation and not repeating mistakes. So in order to create something new with your partner, with someone else, you have to figure out, reverse engineer what happened so that you can end up somewhere else the next time, right? So for me, I realized that I thought forgiving him was taking him back. I thought forgiving him was allowing him to have sex with me. I thought forgiving him was starting to make future plans. That's enough. That's all you get from me from now on, was basically my attitude. And so that didn't work out, because in the beginning it was like, okay, I deserve that, whatever. And then after a while he's like, well, he had to tell me, I want to be with you, but I can't feel like I'll never be able to outlive this mistake. I need to be able to move on with my life, and he deserves that, and so do I. And so because I didn't want to, even though I thought I didn't want to be with someone who I couldn't respect, who I couldn't trust, who I couldn't look up to, and someone I felt that I needed to babysit forever, right? That's not why I got into marriage. And so the way you forgive first is by focusing on yourself and realizing that anything that's showing up in your life is a reflection of something that's still hurt within you. So for me, it was rejection from my mom. It was perceived rejection of not being good enough, perceived rejection of having of him not loving me, all these thoughts that I had in my mind regarding who he was and how he treated me, were reflected to me with how with this betrayal, with this infidelity. And so part of forgiveness is taking radical responsibility, even of the evil things that happen to us, because from then we can transform and we can rise above them. And then what we choose to do is that we set the other person free. Once we set ourselves free, we give that same grace to the other person and we set them free. And we say, you have a blank slate from this moment on. And it doesn't matter if you're going to remain in this relationship or if you're going to leave this relationship, but from this moment forward, I set you free. You don't owe me anything. We are on even playing ground, because now you've truly let go. Because a lot of times we hold on to resentment thinking that it's somehow hurting the other person. But really, you're the one who's crying. You see the other person, you're like, why isn't he as upset as I am? Why is it that he's okay? He's already moved on and I'm the one who's still crying. Why is it that I'm the one who feels betrayed and he's not crying? He's fine. And then that makes you even angrier, and then the resentment builds. I've totally been there. The point is that when you are resentful, it's poison that you're putting into your own body. It's like you're putting rocks and baggage into your own luggage, not the other person. So what's happening with him is none of your business. What you need to deal with is you, because ultimately you're responsible for your life, for your decision, and for your choices from this moment forward, despite what other people do. And so in this moment, you say, I let you go because I don't want to carry this for the rest of my life, because I'm done, because this chapter of my life is over and I'm moving on, and you get a blank slate. And sometimes that's really hard to do, especially if you haven't forgiven yourself for a lot of the things that you've done wrong in your life. You can't give someone what you don't have. And so it's difficult to forgive someone when you're still resentful towards yourself. A lot of times after infidelity, you feel like, what could I have done differently to prevent this? How could I have changed more? How could I have accommodated more? All these negative emotions and negative thoughts we have regarding resentments we keep to ourselves. And so forgiving is really about giving yourself a blank slate, saying, okay, from this moment on, I'm starting fresh, I'm starting new, and I'm choosing to change the direction of my life at this point in time. And you set the other person free, knowing that his choices and his decisions have nothing to do with who you are. You are two separate individuals and you are on your own path. Your own path in life. So yes, you're choosing to share your life, but it's not a merge. It's not a merge. It's not that his choices define you or say something about you. You get to be you and you get to forgive him, and there needs to be some boundary in place about, this is who I am and you don't get to define me with your betrayal. And so once we put up that loving boundary around ourselves about what it means, right? His betrayal is a flaw on his behalf. It has nothing to do with me being flawed. It's just something he chose to do. It has nothing to do with me. And so when you get there, you're able to forgive and you're able to move on and you're able to let go and finally release. If this has been helpful for you, please comment, please like, please subscribe to my channel and share. I love you so much. Until next time, bye.